Hi, this is Bob from Hobbyconcepts, and along with Winston sporting his new summertime haircut. Today we're going to talk about the Beier MSM sound and light unit. Now specifically what I'm going to talk about today is how to set it for one of 14 different models that's included with it. You can do 3 different trucks, a couple different cars, a couple different tanks, 3 different ships, emergency vehicles, tractors, and so on and so forth. It doesn't require a computer. You set it up with the transmitter. And I've touched on it in a couple other videos, but I haven't really shown it. Today I'm going to really show it, show you how the lights work, how it looks, and you'll be able to set up your MSM unit. Specifically, this is for MSM users. Let's get started. Alright, so for today's video I've got several different things here. I've got the MSM manual. I've got an MSM unit with a power plug on it, and I have a battery, a 2200 2-cell battery to power it. I've got a Flysky FSI6X radio with a 10-channel receiver. I've got a battery to power the receiver. I've got a speaker, a Beier speaker with a plug on it, and I've got 3 patch cables. So those are the things we're going to be using when we do this video. Now I'm going to be zooming in and out a little bit more than normal because I want to show the lights on this, and I haven't shown that really clearly. So today I'm going to show it really clearly how to select the models. Alright, first thing is the manual. So this is page 6 of the English section of the MSM manual, and right here, to choose the model you must proceed as follows. This tells you what I'm going to be showing you. On the next page, there's the light code for the different models. So we have truck 1, 2, and 3, car 1 and 2, emergency vehicle, tractor, construction vehicle 1 and 2, tank 1 and 2, and ship 1, 2, and 3. And then over here, the LEDs show you what they will be doing for a certain model. So for example, on truck number 1, the first LED will be blank, the second LED will be blank, and the third LED will be flashing. Truck number 2, the middle LED will be flashing. Truck number 3, these 2 will be flashing, and so on and so forth. A solid one means it'll be solid, and a half section means it'll be flashing. So you'll need the manual, you'll need this code to decide what model you want to do. So let me take a minute here and plug in the receiver. Now this receiver is already bound to the radio, and channel 1 is the steering channel, which is this stick right here, and it goes to prop number 2. Now it's important to note, prop number 2, that the brown wire faces out here and it faces down here. Okay, the throttle on this radio is channel 3, which is this channel right here, and it goes to prop number 1 on the MSM. Now I have covered this. Now when you plug these 2 in, they leave you a blank spot so you can plug in the servo, the steering servo, and then the speed control, or whatever happens to be. And then now what we have to do is we have to use prop number 6 for the programming. So prop number 6 on the MSM is this very bottom plug here. So plug this in on the outside, and then we're going to use channel number 2 for prop 6. So we'll plug this into channel number 2. Now channel number 2 is this one right here. And when I set up models with an MSM, I always use this for prop 6 because this is the light control. And it's just super handy, so you get steering here and lights here. But today we're going to use it for programming. So now we've got this all plugged in. I'm going to plug in a speaker just for testing. And I'm going to power up the board. Well, I'm not going to power it up till I move the camera a little bit, but that's how we've got it plugged in. Okay, zoom back out of here. I'm going to turn my radio on. I'm going to plug in the receiver. Now normally your receivers can be powered by your speed control and you're not going to need a separate battery. And probably you're going to tap wires off the speed control to power the MSM, but today we're just going to use a battery to power it up. Okay, and you can see that now there's a light on in here, which means it's ready to go, and if we touch the throttle we should get sound. Okay, I'm going to unplug it just because I don't want to listen to it for 30 seconds. So we know it's hooked up properly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the speaker because I don't want to listen to it while I'm programming it. Okay, now reposition the camera. We'll do this. We'll show you how you do this. So first I'm going to do this wide angle just to show you what happens. So when you plug this in, a blue light will flash 5 times and then stop. Okay, so to program it, what you do is you plug it in, and within 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the lights are all flashing, and when they stop flashing, then you can use the stick to move the model. So every time you move it, it switches to a different model, and every time you page through all the models, and I'm going to do a close-up of these lights. We're going to go back to model number 1, which is a flashing blue light. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in and show you what these lights look like close up, but you won't be able to see the radio. I wanted to show you how you move the stick. Now, once you've selected the model, you just let it sit, and pretty soon it'll the flashing light will go off, and it'll go back to its normal powered up state, and it will remember the model you selected unless you go into the programming mode again. So now our green light is back, and we've remembered that we're model number 1. So now let me get a close-up of these lights to show you what they look like. I'll unplug this, and I'll move the camera. Alright, so I'm going to plug in my battery. You'll see the blue light. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now you can see all 3 lights are flashing. And if I go, that's the blue light flashing, which is model number 2. Now I can go to the red light, or model number 1. The red light flashing is model number 2. And the red and blue flashing are model number 3. And that's all there is to it. So as we remember, when we go to the manual, so now this is set on model number 3. If we go to the manual, we've got the red and the blue flashing is truck number 3. And that's basically how you do the programming. Now it's still flashing. The red and the blue are flashing. And in a second they'll stop, and you get a green light, and then boom, and it remembered. So now it's model number 3. And it'll have a different engine sound than the other truck. So let me reposition my camera again. Okay, back to the full bench. I'll plug this in. So now we're set on truck number 3. And that's quite a bit different sound than truck number 1. Now just for fun, I'm going to switch to the next model, which is car number 1. And that's a flashing green light. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to plug this in. Blue light, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll let those flashing stop. We'll go to the next model, which is a flashing green. Okay, so now when we hit the engine, we should get a car sound. And let's save that by unplugging the power, plugging it back in. So, no backing beeper, kind of a cool car sound. So that's how you adjust the model settings on the Beier MSM-1. As I have said before, you don't need a computer to program this. The programming is through the radio, and that's really the only programming. Once you set a model, so right now it's set to car number 1, then you can go to the car number 1 page and see what sounds we have. Now, for example, we have music, we have a chirp sound, a door opening and closing sound, some music, which I don't even know what it is, I haven't looked at it yet. And so we have different sounds. If we go to, say, ship number 1, we have things like a ship's horn, a ship's bell, seagulls, seagull sound. Hey, how cool is that? So, depending on what model you're using, this is a very cool little unit, because you've got these 14 different vehicles already built in. So there you go. That is a video on how to program the Beier MSM-1. I just wanted to kind of get you that close-up, and I hope this was helpful. If you've got Beier equipment, this stuff is amazing. What a great little sound unit and light unit, and it's so small and it's so easy to hook up. So there you go. Give this video a thumbs up. As always, I really appreciate you watching. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.